everyone, so my name's Erin and this is a new type of video for me. If you've been a subscriber of my channel or if you've looked at my other videos, it's all concert videos. So this is the first tutorial video that I'm doing. But I was diagnosed with cancer, with Hodgkin's lymphoma, about 4 months ago and have been going through chemotherapy, and I've always been kind of a makeup hobbyist, I guess. I've always loved makeup and have kind of an obsession with it, but I've noticed that I've had to tailor the way that I do my makeup to the way that my face is changing because of chemotherapy. Like, my eyelashes are falling out, my eyebrows are almost gone. Typical chemo side effects. So I just wanted to share some tips and tricks that I've learned along the way. Like I said, it's my first video doing anything like this, so bear with me if it's a hot mess. I just kind of did a go-to neutral look, something really simple that anybody can replicate. So if you want to learn how to get this neutral chemo look, keep watching. Bare face and bald head. So the first thing that you're going to want to do is moisturize your face. I'd recommend putting moisturizer on about 5 minutes before you start your makeup process. That way it gives the moisturizer a chance to sink into your skin and really be effective. I know if you're anything like me, chemotherapy has been horrible on your skin. My skin is so dry. So I just make sure that I put a little bit extra moisturizer on. The brand that I use is called First Aid Beauty. You can find it at Sephora. It's really great for sensitive skin, and it's really great for very parched skin. I have been using this brand since before I started chemotherapy. I've been using it for a couple of years and have continued to use it during chemo, and I absolutely love it. It's a godsend. So I'm going to use a primer today. A primer isn't a necessary step, but because my skin is so dry, I'm going to go ahead and use a serum primer. I'm using one from Hourglass. It's just one of their travel size ones that they sell at Sephora. I'm just going to do like a little pump and put that on the parts of my face that are the most dry. So on my cheeks, my chin, and on my forehead. Forgive me if I'm looking in the viewfinder instead of the actual lens of the camera. This is new to me. I am going to go ahead and put on some lip balm as well. Okay, so for foundation, I'm actually not going to use a foundation today. I'm going to use a BB cream, but it's not like your typical BB cream that you would find at the drugstore. It's one of the Asian BB creams, and it's by the brand Leoelli. This is what it looks like. Super cute packaging. It's a thicker BB cream. It's not as thin as the BB creams that you find in the stores here. You can find this online. I'll go ahead and put a link down below in case you're interested in purchasing it. But it's really moisturizing and it's really hydrating, and I like that it doesn't cling to my dry patches. It matches my skin pretty well, and I really like the finish of it, and so I've been wearing it a lot lately. I'm just gonna go ahead and put a couple pumps on the back of my hand. You can use your fingers to apply this. It goes on actually really smoothly and blends in really well with the fingers, but I'm going to use my handy dandy beauty blender that's damp and just go ahead and dab it on my face. And I just really love the coverage that this gives. So what I'm doing is I'm just going in with kind of a thin layer all over my face, and I'm dabbing with the beauty blender. I'm not like swirling it around. I'm just kind of bouncing it off the skin. And what the beauty blender does is, because it's damp, it doesn't soak up so much product as a normal cosmetic sponge, and it helps shear out the product a little bit, and it helps it blend a lot easier. now I'm just going in with kind of another thin layer. So now I'm just gonna go in and kind of blend in any places that are a little thinner than the rest. And for a BB cream, it has a really full coverage. I almost feel like I don't need any concealer on any blemishes that I have, just because it does cover really well. Runny nose, you guys know the struggle. So next I'm going to go in with concealer. This one's from NARS. It's their Radient Creamy Concealer. I'm just going to put a little bit of that under the eye, kind of going in like a triangle shape. And then I'm also going to go any places that I have or tend to get a little bit of redness, so on my nose. And then just a couple of little blemishes. Then I'm going to go in with the other end of my beauty blender and blend that out. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to set everything with a lightweight powder. I'm not going in with a super matte or a super heavy powder because I don't want my skin to look more dry than it is. So I'm just going in with a lightweight setting powder that has light reflective qualities. It's an Hourglass Ambient lighting powder. Just a very lightweight setting powder, and I'm going really lightly with it because I don't want it to take away from the dewiness of the BB cream. And then I'm going to take a smaller brush and just go in with a tapered brush and make sure that my concealer is set. I'm going to use a little bit of bronzer to warm up my face. I'm not going to contour. I don't want, my cheekbones to stand out anymore or anything like that. It's not for contouring. I just want to warm up my complexion a little bit. If you're anything like me, your skin during chemo can tend to look kind of deadish, like have a grayish cast. And so I just want to go in with a little bit of bronzer. It's just a couple of shades darker than my skin tone, and just warm up my face a little bit. I'm using this darker shade from the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette, and just getting a little bit of it on the brush and just going along beneath where I'll put my blush. So just in the same places that I would contour, but I'm not doing a harsh contour line. I'm just kind of swirling in an oval motion. I just want to give a little bit of light to my face. I'm also going to take it and put it on my temples. And then since I will be wearing my wig, I'm going to put it along my hairline. If I wasn't going to be wearing a wig, I wouldn't do that because I'd look a little weird. But I'm going to throw my fake hair on. So next I'm going to do blush. I'm going to use this one by Chanel. It's called Rose Bronze. It's just a really pretty, I don't know if you can see it, just a really pretty kind of satiny finish. It's very natural looking, and the finish of it, it gives kind of a little bit of light to my cheeks. So I like the finish of this blush a lot. I'm just taking it on kind of the apples of my cheeks and then blending upward toward my temple. I hope it's reading on camera how pretty the finish is on this blush. It's just it's kind of got almost an iridescent kind of opalescent quality, I guess. It's one of my favorite blushes. It's pretty much the one that I wear on an everyday basis. I'm gonna go in and just add a little bit of highlighter. Nothing too crazy. I don't wanna have glitter all over my face or anything like that. I'm gonna take the middle powder from that same Hourglass palette on just a tapered brush, and I'm just gonna run that on top of my cheekbones and kind of up into my temple. Alright, so I'm ready for eyebrows, and I'm going to zoom you guys in for this one so you can see a little closer detail. Hello! So for eyebrows, there are a few different options. It mostly just depends on what level of eyebrow you have left. As you can see, I have a few hairs clinging on, so what I do today might not work best for you, but I'll show you a couple of different options. And I'll do an updated video later on once my eyebrows are completely gone. I'm going to be using a couple of different products today. I'm going to be using a brow pencil. My favorite brow pencil is from Anastasia. It's called their Brow Wiz. It has a double-ended spoolie on one end, pencil on the other. Another brow pencil that's really nice is the It Cosmetics Universal Brow Power. Comes in one color, and then just depending on how much you put on and how hard you push, it comes off in different shades. There's also brow powder. I'm going to be using a little of that today. This one's from Anastasia. This is their old packaging, so I think I have their new packaging. This is the new packaging, so if you're looking for it, this is the one that you'll find in stores now. But the color that I have is in their old packaging. So I'm going to be using a little bit of brow powder today. And then another option that I'm not going to be using today, but is a really good option if you don't have any eyebrows left, is the Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. And it's kind of like a gel. It's water resistant. It stays put. It's a really, really nice product for those with little or no brows left. I'm going to start off with the brow pencil. I'm just going to use the spoolie end and kind of comb out what brows I have left. I'm going to go in and kind of line along the bottom of where I want my brow to be. And I'm just going in really light, short strokes, kind of like brush strokes, just along the bottom. And then I'm going to take that all the way out to the tail. So I have the bottom of my brow kind of lightly outlined. So then I'm going to start about halfway back on the top and do the same thing, but I'm going to go even lighter on the top because I don't want there to be like a definitive line of where you can see the brow was drawn on. So I'm going to kind of define my arch a little bit and then take it down to the tail as well. Then I'm going to shade in the middle. And like I said, I'm just using really short, kind of brush strokes and very lightly. And I'm going to take the spoolie end again and comb up through and kind of blend that in. So that's what we have so far. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shape the front of my brow. So I'm just going to use the same kind of brush strokes, and I'm just going to lightly brush upward, and then the farther out I go, I brush outward. So just like you would want your natural brow hairs to be, is what is the shape that I'm drawing. And you may have to go over it several times. It's always better to go too light than too heavy, and then not be able to undo what you've done. That's what I have. And that's compared to the other one. And I'm not doing anything too dramatic. This is pretty much the shape that my brows were before they started falling out. So I'm just kind of going with the natural shape and the shape that I've had them since before I started chemo. Then I'm going to go in with the brow powder because the wig that I'm wearing, I don't have a pencil color that matches the wig perfectly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the brow powder and I'm going to go in with this darker shade with just a like flat angled brush. This is also from Anastasia. It has a spoolie on the other end. Anastasia is my absolute favorite brow product line, brow brand. There we go. I absolutely love their products. So I'm gonna start a little over halfway on the bottom again and kind of line, and then just fill in and darken up. I'm not gonna go too far in. I don't want to take the powder all the way into the front part of my brow. So I'm just starting a little closer to the front than halfway. And darkening up. The outer portion of my brow. And then I'm just kind of blending that in. The last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to set my brows. So I'm going to use the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. It's basically just a mascara wand with their brow gel. And I'm going to take that and starting at the front of my brow, I'm going to go upward like I did with the brow pencil, and then as I go the farther out, I'm going to kind of brush outward. And that'll just kind of set everything and help keep it there. You can use this without any hairs left, just to set any product that you put on your skin. You would just kind of dab it. So instead of swiping, you would just kind of dab it on. Another alternative to brow gel, if you don't want to spend the extra money on brow gel, clear mascara works well. Maybelline Great Lash has a clear mascara that serves basically the same purpose. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and finish up my other brow and speed you through. So now that my brows are done, I'm going to start with my eyes. And I'm going to start by priming them. And I'm going to use a paint pot by MAC called Painterly. It's just kind of a skin tone color. I don't know about you guys, but since I started chemo, it's gotten kind of really red around my eyes. And I've always had a problem with the veins showing through. But the redness has come with chemo. And so this is a good way to not only give yourself a good base to start out with for eyeshadow, but it also helps cover up any redness and veins that are showing through. So I'm just going to use my finger and apply that. You can use a brush to apply it, but I just use my finger. I'm going to take it all the way up to almost the brow bone. I'm going to take a little bit of that same Hourglass powder that I used earlier to set everything, just on a small brush, and go over that just very lightly. Because the paint pot has a little bit of a tacky base, this will make it easier to blend out my eyeshadow. So for eyeshadow, I'm going to start with a transition color in my crease. I'm going to use this shade by Makeup Geek called Creme Brulee. So I'm going to go in with a fluffy crease brush. This one's from Sigma. I'll put a list of all of the brushes that I use down below. So I'm going to go in with the Creme Brulee, and I'm just going to put that in my crease. Just using windshield wiper motions. I'm focusing it mainly on the outside and then blending in. And that's just going to help any color that I put on my lid transition up to my brow bone. The key to doing eyeshadow is just to blend, 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 and blend some more. So then I'm just going to take a flat shader brush into my lid color. The rest of the shades that I'm going to be using are all in this palette by Lorac called the Unzipped palette. This is my favorite go-to palette. This is kind of my everyday, my go-to eyeshadow look. So I'm going to be taking this shade right here called Unreal and putting that on my lid, and I'm going to be careful not to get it too far up into my crease. Okay. And then I'm going to take a blending brush and go in with this shade right here called Unattainable. And I'm going to use that to tie the lid color into that transitional crease color. So again, just mainly focusing on the outside part of my eye and then blending my way in. And I'm also going to put it on the outside of my lid, just the outer portion of my lid. And I'm just tapping off the excess before I put it on my eye. That way it'll help minimize the fallout. There we go. That's what we have so far. So then I'm going to take that same fluffy brush. I'm going to go in with a shade that's a little bit darker. It's this one right here called Uncensored. And I'm going to put that in the outer portion just to deepen up the outer V and into the crease. I'm going to use a kind of more dense, more compact version of that same brush. I'm going to go in with this dark shade down here called Untamed, this one right here. And I'm just going to use that in the outer V just to add even more definition. I'm going to take the fluffy brush that I was using before that and blend that out. And then I'm going to take that fluffy brush that I started out with in the crease and blend even more. Oh, I'm shedding. Alright, and then I'm going to take just an angled brush and take the highlight shade called Undercover. And I'm just gonna put that right in the arch beneath my eyebrow and then blend it out. Then I'm going to take a kind of a large domed pencil brush, and I'm going to go in with the unattainable shade that we used in the crease, and I'm going to take that and run that along my lower lash line. Sorry. Then I'm going to take kind of the darker brown, the one right below it, and run that along the outer half. For eyeliner, I am going to use a brown eyeliner. Black, especially when you have kind of sparse eyelashes or no eyelashes, black can be really, really harsh and make the fact that you don't have eyelashes or have very little eyelashes left stand out even more. And so I would recommend using a brown eyeliner. This one is just a brown Marc Jacobs one that I got as a point perk at Sephora. And I'm just going to run that. I'm not going to do anything crazy for liner. I'm just going to run that along my lash line to give it some more definition. So for my lashes, as you can see, I still have most of my lashes, so I'm not going to be putting any falsies on today. I'm just going to use one of my favorite volumizing and lengthening mascaras, and this has been kind of my holy grail mascara since before this all started, but even more so now. Now that my lashes are thinning out, it's really been a great mascara. It's called the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara. I love the name. So I'm just gonna go in and do my mascara like I normally would. I'm just lightly doing this. This does tend to clump. This mascara does, and so I just do 2 pretty light coats. And then later on, when I do lose my lashes, I'll go ahead and do a false eyelash video for you guys. So there's one coat of this mascara. I really love it. And now I'm going back in for a second coat while this first coat is still damp, and that will help prevent any clumps. So for my lower lashes, I'm actually going to go in with a different mascara. The wand on the Too Faced one is really thick and kind of oddly shaped. And so I'm going to use a different mascara for my lower lashes. This one's just one that has a smaller one. So, eyes are done. Almost done. So, for lipstick, I'm just going to use a really natural, just everyday, one of my favorite go-to lipsticks. It's by Chanel. It's one of their Rouge Cocoa Shines, and it's in the shade Secret. just kind of a sheer pink. Alright, and for the final step, I'm going to set everything with a setting spray. That'll help your makeup stay in place, that'll help your eyebrows stay in place. And the one I'm going to use is the Urban Decay De-Slick setting spray. Alright, and I am done. I'm going to go throw my wig on and I'll be right back. Ah, I'm back. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any more suggestions for types of videos I should do, please comment down below. If you have any questions for me about this video or cancer in general, comment down below and I'd be happy to answer them for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.